Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Panerai watches, and we're going to do it with what I call the new movements. These are movements in what they call their P series. The old caliber names of OP something or other were oftentimes made by somebody else, and I didn't like that. You didn't know what you're going to get. But they got rid of all of those, and in the new line of Panerai, they've got some very interesting movements. Now, today what I want to do, I want to do half today and then the other half on Sunday. So this is part one of what I'll call the new Panerai. We're going to look at the hand-wound movements today. I prefer hand-wound movements, and of course I'm wearing one of my few automatic watches, my Harry Winston, what's the name of it, Premier by Retrograde. The Retrograde is by Agenhar, and the movement is by Gerard Perregaux. Harry Winston doesn't make its own. All right, so let's take a look at this. The first movement, this is what I'll call the new movements, is the P1000. And what I have is that I try to find a skeletonized version of it so that you can see more of it. A lot of their movements have very large plates, and so you can't see much of it. So this one you can. All right, so let's look at this. And the P1000 is hand wound. The diameter is 26.8 millimeters. Now, the importance of that is a lot of criticism of Panerai's new movements. All they are, they just took the old ETA movements that they had and copied them or something like that. But if they didn't with this one, some of the movements may be the same size because they have certain types of cases they want to fit in. But that's from the looks of these things, Panerai did a heck of a good job of coming up with all of these movements for their watches. All right, and so this one has a 3 hertz frequency, which I like, and so you end up with a little bigger balance wheel. By the way, the ETA of hand wound, so forth, that would be the ETA 6497 is 36.6 millimeters. So you can really see there's a big difference here. All right. Also, to notice the size of the balance wheel relative to the size of some of the other gears that it has. Now, the next one is the P2002. The P2002 is pretty much the base movement. I'm not sure why they didn't have a P2000. Oh, I know why. 2002 was when they started working on this particular movement. Okay, now if you look at the upper left, you can see these giant plates, so you really can't see much of the movement. But if you look at the lower right, I got the skeletonized version of it called the 2002, and then have /10 on it for the skeletonized version. Again, hand wound, has an 8-day charge to it. And it has a lot of functions. It has and also has a faster frequency. This is 4 hertz. So you have the date, you have an additional 12-hour hand, you have that's adjustable, you have another one that's fixed, and you have hours, minutes, small seconds, and a power reserve indicator. The Luminor 1950 up in the upper right, 844 for the width. 8 days in the GMT, and you can see the little GMT hand around 4 o'clock on that one. All right, moving right along. The next one is the 2004, another hand wound, 8-day charge to it, and it has all of the things that the other one had, plus it's a chronograph. And it's a monopusher, I can't say it very well, but it's a monopusher. Rather than having 2 different things on it, it's just got one that toggles on it. And again, you can see the movement. Now notice too that the balance is a little smaller than the one we saw on the ones that were 3 hertz. So, and it's a column wheel, which is, there are basically 2 kinds of chronographs, column wheel and one using a cam. I don't know of too many ones, they're still using a cam very much, but that was one of the things that they had used. So anyway, this is another new one, the 2004. And even with a lot of plate over the first one, the one in the upper left, that looks a little better than some of the other ones. You can't see anything at all. All right, this next one is the P2005. It's another hand wound, 4 hertz, hours, minutes. It's got an additional 24-hour hand, and it has a 6-day reserve on it, and got the small seconds, and the other thing in it is a tourbillon. It's got put a tourbillon escapement in it. Now, what they've done, it was sort of cool, I think. They left that open so you could see the tourbillon right up about at 1 o'clock on the 2 movements. Now, the one that is the skeletonized one in the lower right, you can see a lot more of it. And then the Luminor 1950 tourbillon GMT. So, they're, like I said, they're not just knocking out anything. They're doing some pretty cool movements themselves. Okay, now this next one is the P2006/3, and it has one of my favorite features on wristwatches, and something I don't have, and this is a full retropompe, also called a split seconds. This one's hand wound, and again 4 hertz, but it's got a 192-hour charge on it. That's 8 days, so this thing is really a good one. Again, it's got a column wheel chronograph, mono pusher, and then the hours, minutes, and plus a power reserve indicator. The Luminor 1950 retropompe 8 days Titanio is an example of one that they have with that. Now, this last one we're going to look at today is the P3000. Now, the P3000, here is where you find it's very much like the ETA 6497 or 8-2. Now, they run at 3 hertz, a frequency of 21,600. And it's a charge of 72 hours. Now, the difference here, and it's one I actually like, because I've tried to put the second hands on 6497s and 98s, and it's really hard. And the only reason that I even consider having the seconds on there is you can see your watch is working. Of course, you can flip it over and see if the balance wheel is moving or not. So what they've done with this one, this is 64, this is a P3000. It's 3 hertz, 3 days, and it's the only thing it has is hours and minutes. It doesn't have the second hand either at 6 or 3, and this would be a dream caliber movement to work with. If I could get my mitts on one, I'd really like to. So, okay, so this is it. So you can see that these are, this might replace the 6497s or 6498s that they used to use, but it's also got its own characteristics to it. And maybe it's very similar, maybe not. It doesn't have the small seconds. But it's not like taking a 6498 and giving it a phony name. All right, and that's important to me. So anyway, I'd like to get your feedback on this. What do you think of these? This first part, and on on Sunday, instead of having a review, we're going to be looking at part 2, and we'll see the automatics and some of the other things that they've done. Really done a lot, I think, in the last, the last 20 years, is that they've built this thing from whatever kinds of nonsense that they had before with naming the movement. Now, I've got no problem with an older movement. They say, instead of calling it OP this or that for Officine Panerai, they're saying, hey, we're not doing that anymore, which I think is a good thing. And if you're going to use ETA, fine, say it's an ETA. My only thing. Let's hear your opinion, what you think of Panerai, what you think of the new movements that they have. And so I'd really like to hear your comments. Invitation to subscribe if you'd like. And by the way, too, I have on my sort of my winter outfit. I even got my hat to match my moose on my sweater here. So today is, in the United States, it's the day after Thanksgiving, and I hope you had a good one. And now we get into, this is called Black Friday in the U.S. So anyhow, that's so that the company's going to the black. All right, so hope to see you Sunday. We'll have our discussion, our live streaming tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern time. Last time we tried it at an earlier hour, and a lot of people over, and especially in Asia, were able to join us. We might change it to then, but I'm a little concerned about the guys out in California, because it'd be really early for them. Okay, hope to see you Sunday, and until then, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.